As a policeman, I am not authorized. As a policeman ako ha, I am not authorized to confiscate, arrest, hold, seize any video game, CD or kwan without the Videogram Regulatory Board. So, yung sinasabi mo mga pirated, Videogram Regulatory Board.
Aba, meron na tayong specific law dyan. Meron Republic Act. That's why the OMB was created. Before it was headed by Senator Bong Revilla, then replaced by Edu. Ngayon si Ronnie Ricketts, di ba?
Walang ibinigay sa kanya ng Malacanang sa pag-appoint sa kanya kamakailan sa high-profile na pwestong hinawakan din noon ni Senator Bong Revilla at Edu Manzano.
It is not often that they would raid an establishment, but they get particularly vicious when they do. And that includes computer rental shops.
Binulaga ng mga operatiba ng Optical Media Board o OMB kahapon ang mga nakahilerang internet cafe sa Quirino Highway at sa loob ng Hilltop Subdivision sa Navaliches, Quezon City. Napag-alaman daw kasi ng OMB na talamak sa lugar na ito ang paggamit ng mga unlicensed software. Kaya isa-isang kinumpiska ang mga CPU na may lamang software na hindi lisensyado mula sa software company nito. Ayon sa OMB, isang lisensya raw dapat sa bawat computer unit. Mainit din sa mata ng OMB ang mga CD burner. Dapat daw kasi may lisensya mula sa kanilang ahensya ang paggamit nito. Di rin nakalusot ang mga pirated CDs ng iba't ibang computer games at software.
Let's say yung mga stores, diba they have the PC installers, PC games, these are pirated as well, right? But they are not concentrating on that. It's about time also that these things, we should not concentrate only on the pornographic CDs or the movie CDs and DVDs, but they should also concentrate on yung mga PCs, PC installers, pirated yun video games.
When it comes to digital piracy, the government is more concerned about things like this.
Unang ni-raid ng mga elemento ng Manila Police District Station 3 ang barter sa Arlegui Street sa Quiapo, ang umano'y pinakamalaking distributor ng mga pirated pornographic DVD at CD sa Maynila. Libo-libong malalaswang video ang agad na kumpiska ng mga pulis. Kabilang ang sex video ni Katrina Halili at Dr. Hayden Ko.
Not that they're doing a bad job, but their priorities are divided. And as with Filipino resiliency, those who get raided just recollect and rebuild. And that's just the beginning of what video games can do to society.
Daddy's back, you bitches! Daddy's back, you bitches!
Dave, come on!
Nero!
Come on! Nico, what are you doing? Dave is not coming.
Ignore him! Come on, we gotta get this thing ready before we talk. Let's go!
This game is a pretty good example of what negative influences video games may have on people, especially on children. These games may have gratuitous amounts of violence, and perhaps even sex. Oh, by the way, those were both guys. Another one of the so-called effects of video games is addiction.
Well, there are reports where students get addicted to video games, and therefore the time that should have been consumed or used for studying has been used in playing video games. Sometimes students will get tardy during the morning classes because they sleep late at night, and one of the causes would be playing video games. Not just video games, but sometimes even Facebook games and things that are games that are similar to that. There are instances where students, especially those who have classes, for example, in our school campus in the afternoon, who will tend to be truant or who would cut their classes just for the sake of playing video games. So their academic standing will definitely be affected.
This tendency to skip school varies with each student. Have you ever cut classes just to play? If yes,
No.
how much? You haven't.
I haven't cut any class. Promise you. No cutting. Oh! Now! Now, yeah.
You're cutting classes right now.
Cutting classes like cutting classes like
You heard that here.
If students cut their class, they get the sanction that is written in our student handbook, which is they could be suspended, or if we do not meet suspension for them, what we do is we ask them to do some forms of school service. Of course, there will be deductions in conduct for violating school rules. Actually, the relationship between the school and the net shops are okay. We remind them that they should not accept students, especially when classes are ongoing. Most of these shops normally have licenses or permits for them to do research work, but some tend to violate.
Dati pa siguro pwede pa yun. Ang elementary kasi dati, hindi pinagbabawalan maglaro nung 90s. Ngayon, meron ng batas, meron ng city ordinance na nagbabawal sa mga bata na pumasok sa internet shop sa oras ng klase. So medyo filtered na rin yun. Pero, yung mga college student, hindi nila pwedeng pagbawalan. So ang dating nga is, swerte yung mga college students eh.
She can take that fucking out.
Go to hell.
A game is something that's fun, right? Something that's supposed to give you pleasure. So if your games are violent, if your games are about killing people in the most gruesome way, then of course you will grow up desensitized.
Violence has always been featured in the media, whether in video games, movies, or so on. Humans have always been fascinated with physical harm, whether onto others or onto oneself. This is a bill written by Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago that seeks to explicitly prohibit violent video games to minors, whether for display, for play, or for sale. The language used to express this idea is definitely graphic, which tries to cover up any possible flaw. Mayor Alfredo Lim also did the same for Manila back in 2007, although worryingly enough it was due to a petition by an anti-porn group, not to mention that its parameters are questionable.
Itong mga violent games nito, siyempre, ma-i-influensyahan, ma-apektuhan ng mga kabataan. O baka isipin nila, accepted norm of conduct yung karahasan. O kaya nagkaroon ng ordinansa at pinatutupad na yan.
Naapektuhan po ba ang mga computer rental shop sa batas na to?
Wala kami pakialam doon sa computer rentals because that's business. Ang concern lang namin, huwag mapanood ng mga kabataan. Dahil sa murang kaisipan, madaling ma-influensyahan nyo. Okay. Now, to prevent acts of violence within the city, that ordinance was enacted. And the police department is implementing that ordinance. But the problem is, there must be a specific complaint before the police officers to take action.